Today is solar panel day. We've got these Victron Energy 175 watt solar panels. We have actually got 3, there'll be another one here, so we're going to have 2 running lengthways in the van and then 1 up front, the other side of the vent. So just playing around in terms of where they could be positioned and understanding how the brackets will fit, because you have to factor in where they'll be positioned on these roof vents. And unfortunately we'll have just a couple of screws that are sitting slightly elevated from the panel, but really with the size and trying to fit both in, couldn't really be avoided. So we'll see how that goes. I've just marked up this panel and I've marked up the other one already. Give the roof a clean and then drill some holes, and then I'll work out where exactly the cables will go, and for our solar entry point to feed into the van. So I'm just going to figure out the front one, a bit more tricky as the actual brackets sit across multiple of the top of the van, so just trying to figure out where that fits best. So yeah, a very exciting day. Finally get the solar panels on the roof, which is I think the second to last structural thing for the van. The last thing will be a vent that will fit sort of in this space that we've got at the back, a bit bigger than the Fiamma 28, a bit more like a skylight. Luna, up here. My only fear with this front panel is where we've got this sort of gap here. As I said, it can't really be avoided if the brackets are wider than these channels. We get a lot of water building up around these front areas, and my only fear now is drilling a hole, having a bolt going through that then potentially could lead to some water leaking through. Not sure if it's something we can do with sealant or whether there's something we can put underneath. Might have to have a little play around with it and figure out if there's another way. Maybe we could put some mastic underneath instead, have a screw that keeps it in, and maybe the mastic then is the other part of adhesive that keeps the solar panel onto the roof. So yeah, nothing simple, but I'll figure out a solution. I think I might go with the mastic option, and then just getting to the front parts might be a bit difficult with limited access. But then yeah, connect the solar panels together and then have a decision on where that final entry point will be. My guess is it will be somewhere on this side, as we're having our electric panel to the back on the left hand side of the van. We're going to connect our solar panels in series, and I'll do another video that explains the difference between series and parallel and why that is better in terms of getting essentially enough voltage through the system that then activates the solar panels to really start charging the batteries, as there is a minimum amount of volts that then starts the solar charger. So yeah, I'll do another video on that, and I'll send some links to some of the other videos that I've watched that have really helped me understand the difference between series and parallel, and what it means for like solar panels versus doing it for your leisure batteries. So first one on, what I ended up doing is putting a bit of mastic between the van and the actual bracket, just as a bit of a, well, I don't know, it's a bit of extra stick I guess, but just a bit of something between metal to metal. And as underneath, excuse me, camera work, but under here I've built up some mastic so that it sits flush, so that essentially I've not got that big gap. I haven't put a bolt through, same for this side, you can see the side more I built it up. But that is solid, it's not going anywhere. Line it up. There. And there. Check the back. Okay. Check that the cables connect, yeah. Enough length. Get it screwed in. the way the circuit's going to run in series is essentially the positive cable that's going to go through that solar entry into this panel, and then it will go to their positive connector. The negative connector will then connect to the positive connector of this next panel, and then again negative to positive, and then positive back into the solar entry. So essentially that's all it is. It's positive and negative together. That's what creates the series. And it'll be using these will be the final cables that go in the solar entry and down into the MPPT controller inside. So I will have to end up cutting one of these ends off depending on whether it's the negative or positive cable. But yeah, as I connect it together, I'll explain it a bit more. So there we have it, 3 panels on. Got the negative long wire that's going to go into the van, goes to the negative point, positive. You can see up there, positive connects to the negative of that top panel, nicely labelled for us, and then the positive of that top panel then connects to the negative of this panel here, and then the positive cable that comes out here at the bottom here. Fortunately with these MC4 connectors, they have got little indicators to remind you, but before I connect anything I'll still use the multimeter just to check if I've got the right ones. Now, as these are currently out exposed to sunlight, then they should actually be producing electricity. So yeah, exciting. Okay, so I've just made a little hole for the cables to go through. I'm going to red oxide them because it's now bare metal. One thing I don't have that I will need to get, but I'll just temporarily put the cables through, is a little rubber grommet that will just go on the outside and protect the sharp edges from cutting these cables. The other thing I've done is I have stripped the MC4 connectors off the end so that it can pass through the solar entry terminal and get through these little connectors, and then I'll feed those through down to the van. I'll then take them off, as I say, because it will, once I connect the cables back in the middles, then these will be generating power, and I'll just label them positive, negative again, just so I don't forget. And then once I do connect them, I will still just test them and remind myself which one's positive and negative. So the final step of getting these panels sorted and into the van.
Just like that, the cabling for the solar panels is in the van and ready to be connected.